Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is Faceoff number 12. This is on the Faceoff playlist. That playlist and another video from it will pop up on screen in the last 20 seconds of this video. So this one is a little bit of an odd one, and this is not one that I thought of. Although after thinking about it, after it was suggested and paid for, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? There are some interesting aspects with this. So this video, the idea for it and the funding for it, because he made a donation specifically for this, is thanks to Tyler Taylor. All right. Normally, I do not call out for individual videos, but since he did give exact amount to buy the product, and also it was interesting and something I hadn't thought of, he's getting shouted out for this. So the aspects of this are that obviously it is under the same brand by the same company, obviously, but it is two of the three standout products, standalone products within the Copenhagen line. All right. So Copenhagen, like a lot of other brands, has the wintergreen, the mint, the straight, obviously the naturals. Where other brands go into extra cuts, or if they do extra flavors, it usually goes towards fruit-themed dips like Skull, Timberwolf, etc. Copenhagen did not do that. Now, the three standalone products are these two, Copenhagen Black and Copenhagen Reserve, and Southern Blend. Now, Southern Blend is away from these two and not being included directly here because I'm not doing a three-way face-off, number one, and number two, it is a sweetened natural. These are both in various spots, whether it's the Copenhagen website or people talking about it, described as dark tobacco flavored. That may be by design. That may be how they are getting around flavor bans, names that don't suggest exact flavor. With a Reserve, the Copenhagen Black would have been grandfathered in, so not so much on that one. Anyway, we're going to take it to the desk. I am going to show you how to identify the products. You will want to pay attention to what I say about the black, because there are going to be changes coming up with that. I want to thank Tyler Taylor again for the idea here. At first I was like, and then I was like, you know what? Actually, that's sort of an interesting idea. So thank you. If anyone would like to make a small one-time donation, there is a PayPal link in the description of this and all recent videos where I accept them. And thank you for your consideration. We're going to take it over the desk now, and we will show you at least the lids and the banding, although Copenhagen is in like an endless rewards code cycle. So hopefully your products in your part of the country aren't being slotted like this anymore. We're going to take it over there now, and then we'll bring it back up top later on, and I'll let you know what I think. Back in a second. Okay, so here we are. Now, what I was sort of hinting at with the Copenhagen Black, it would appear from one of their websites that this can is going to be standardized into what all the rest of Copenhagen's cans look like. So this will not look like this anymore. It will look layout-wise like this, only the base color will be black, and instead of Reserve there, it will also be black, the word black, all right? But as of right now, there's no confusing the two, but this is what you're looking at. On the shelf, the Reserve is very, very close to the Copenhagen Straight, okay? Even from a distance of 5 to 8 feet, it is very close. If you cannot actually see the word Reserve or Straight alternately, the red of the Reserve is a little bit more leaning towards what I would call fire engine or Ferrari red. Okay? The black, as of right now, is pretty standout, and you will not have a problem with that. As far as banding goes, this is what I'm talking about. Now, this Reserve does actually have a small branding on the side, but they're using so much space for these now. I hope no parts of the country are still having their products slotted like this, like if you were seeing this from counter, because it's going to be pretty tough. And the black is the same way, only it's actually worse. Like, there is no small branding on it at all. All right, so let's get them both opened up. We will do this one first. And here we go again with, there we go. All right. I've noticed, I don't think they've changed the bands. I don't know if they're on as tight as they were before, like if they're being stretched as much, but they're almost coming off sort of rubbery, like an American Snuff Company product. That is what you're looking at there. That is basically representing on camera exact as to what I am seeing. So we're going to put the lid up there. We're going to put that there. Then we're going to open up the black. That is interesting because that, okay, in person, when not under magnification, you are not going to be seeing, yeah, okay, it's that much blonde highlights. For whatever reason, it does have them. You would not be able to tell if you weren't seeing it on this shot from my camera at the moment. So let's put that over there. It is sort of standout, though, that it's like that. I'm a little surprised. So we'll get some of this out, and we'll see what we're looking at moisture-wise. It's staining the paper up. So that's as expected. In my experience thus far this year, the Reserve products don't quite have the same moisture levels than, let's say, the Long Cut Straight or the Long Cut Winter Green. And then, if I can move my hand around here, dump some of you out. The black. The black has been coming in like this. Now, this one is not far out of date. It's actually pretty darn close. But I have noticed they seem to be drier than what I remember in past variations. So it's staining a little bit, but due to the light here on the white paper towel, you're not really seeing it as much. When it does stain, it doesn't come up dark. It's almost like it's dampening the paper towel as if you had water and dripped it on the paper towel, which is a little bit odd. It is more of a mid-cut. The Reserve seems to be, let me see if I can bring the camera down a little bit farther. The Reserve seems to be, as of late, a slightly longer cut, more in line with their Long Cut Straight or their Long Cut Winter Green or anything along those lines. All right? Whereas this is what you call the Copenhagen mid-cut. This would have been long cut when they came out with the original back in the late 90s. Not so long now. You will notice there are some outliers here in a pretty significant way. All right. There's one up here. There's one here. That's a single piece. Here's something going on here. But even if you go over to the black, you have stuff which is even more standout because the black is a finer cut in general, except for, let's say, these pieces. Is this a slipping of standards to the point of American Snuff Company? No. No, it's not. There has always been people saying, oh, it's not the same, it's not the same. You got to keep in mind that any product that doesn't come in fiberboard from Copenhagen is technically a second-tier product in their mind. All right? If it's not in fiberboard, it's not in Copenhagen's own personal top tier. With that, we are going to take it back up top. I'm going to do the reserve first. There is a reason for that. Back in a moment. Okay, and we are back. I'm going to do some of this reserve right now, so I'm going to go right in the middle. You actually get a little bit of mouthfeel with this. So the nicotine is definitely there. The reason why I'm doing the reserve first is twofold. One, it is not the stronger flavor. And two, and the biggest problem with this product in my mind, the flavor goes neutral. Now, I've had it go neutral in as little as 5 minutes, and I have had it go neutral later than that. But it does go neutral. So basically, for anyone that still doesn't know, Reserve is basically a root beer. Okay? They have not named it a flavor, thus they did not have to bend the knee, or they were allowed to make it, period. Rather, would probably be the better. But it's root beer. Some people are going to get different things out of it. You know, people that pick up wintergreen and root beer flavors may get that, etc., so forth. Wintergreen tea berry is actually one of the ingredients in root beer flavoring. So that's why they think that. So I'm going to pause this again, and I'm actually going to sit here and time it out, and see how long it takes to go neutral. And then I will come back and we'll try on the black. All right? Okay, so it's been about 6 minutes. Something I didn't notice before until I was actually sitting here thinking about it for 6 minutes. Before it goes neutral, and it is starting to go neutral now, it goes dull. Now, I'm not quite sure if dull is the proper terminology for it. Basically, it goes into a state where there's still flavor, but it's sort of not root beer anymore. And your reaction, or at least my reaction, is, this was like, you putting it in, oh, this is really good. Wow, they really, and then like 4 or 5 minutes later, you're like, you know what, I don't really feel like tasting this anymore, type deal. But, you know, it's still a good showing, and it's still something actually different. Like, there hasn't been anything really different going on for a little while now, and it is actually different. So in that way, as far as the cut being a little while, my experience personally with Copenhagen has been that they have always been a little bit, with the exception of the original pouches and the long cut, anything in fiberboard, they've always been a little bit They haven't gone to the extremes as like American Snuff Company products, but so let me get this out. That's what I spit dip out in now. And we will get the black going here. Now, I do not think... Again, a slight mouthfeel again in the front for me. But not quite to the extent as the Reserve. Am I saying one's stronger than the other? No, I'm just telling you what I am perceiving right now. Now, the black is noticeably finer cut. I'm not saying it's fine cut. It's a finer cut. It's noticeable. I can tell just sliding it around the side. There's more policing I feel like I need to do with my tongue. The flavor. Flavor-wise, from a personal standpoint, the Reserve is going to win with me. Because I am not and have never been a huge fan of bourbon whiskey, which is what black is flavored as. Over the years, I have gotten more used to it. I don't mind it, and the nicotine has always seemed to be there with this product. In a way, the black also sort of goes a little bit neutral after a while. Not neutral, it goes dull, definitely. It seems to be a little bit more lasting in flavor. But that said, if I took this out of my mouth in the next 2 minutes, I'd be still having the flavor for a while. So in a way, the flavor sort of goes dull, but it is lasting. It lasts more closer to when it first goes in. It lasts a longer time with that flavor than the Reserve. The cut, again, a little wonky. The blonde in there I have never really seen before. So, is it... It's one of these things like... It depends what your taste preference is, really, and what you're expecting. Expect a mid-cut with the black. Expect a little bit of a longer cut with the Reserve. Flavor-wise, I mean, root beer or bourbon, there's going to be a significant number of people that are okay with both, but put into the context of holding something in your mouth, you may want to think about that. The Reserve would seem not to be released everywhere. They went back and changed their wording on the website about a month ago and made it, at first it was general release, you know, nationwide, and then it became select markets. So, you know, what does that mean? What, you know, I don't know. It is available at a cost on their dipdirect.com site, which is U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company, now mail sending dip. My initial reaction, well, that's a good thing. But then I thought, wait a minute. Why are they feeling the need to do that? What's the reasoning? Is there supply line problems? What's going on where they feel the need that they need to start selling online? Again, I do not know, but it crossed my mind. The thought process there was like, wait a minute. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. This is great. Wait a minute. If you have cans of this type lid, you may want to save them because it's not going to be around much longer, to the best of my knowledge. Beyond that, both similarity-wise they are both dark tobacco flavored. Both the flavors are done well initially, and then the Reserve definitely and somewhat the black sort of fall back into I guess this is okay. So really, it's personal preference, as with all of these things. You know, I give you a general idea of what it is and what I think of it, but really, I mean, even down to nicotine and whatnot, even if I had numbers, it sort of depends on the viewer's mouth. The pH of your mouth is going to have a reaction with any given product significantly enough that everyone will technically have slightly different experience. All right? On that note, I'm going to wrap this up. However, I have just thought about it, and I will put up, instead of this playlist, which can be found on the playlist page, and another video from it, I will put up a short format video of both of these products. All in all, this is not a deal that there's a winner, there's not a loser, you know. Personally, flavor-wise, while it's fresh, right in the mouth, I personally prefer the Reserve. When I stop video, and right now when I stop the camera, I will not be taking the black out, though. All in all, I think they're both a good showing. And, you know, there are some things that detract, but not to the point where I tell you don't even bother, don't try. They're not products like that. So this has been the face-off of Copenhagen Black and Copenhagen Reserve. Again, I'd like to thank Tyler Taylor for funding and the idea of doing this one. And again, there is a PayPal link if you would like to make a small donation. I do appreciate it. It helps the channel greatly. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I do hope you all are well. As always, do take care of yourselves, and God bless.